So welcome everybody to the second hour of Mind Shifters Radio. Today is Thursday, August the 5th, 2021, and their call-in number is 563-999-3581, and press 1, and that puts you into queue to talk to us. And we'd love to hear your comments and questions because that makes this your show. We'll give Michael just a minute to get dialed in. We're started just early, so I think he's downstairs. And I will invite you to go to our website, whyagain.org, whyagain.org. And there's lots of information. You can click on the Start Here button in the top left corner or the bullseye in the middle of the page. Both of those take you to the same place. And I'm in the process of working on the catalog, straightening it up because it was just in the conversion from Joomla to WordPress. It didn't convert real nice, but we're working on that. And there are a couple of specials that I do have in on if you go to the MP4 catalog, that, each of the MP4s are normally, a 2-hour one is $20, and the 4-hour one is $30, and the 10-hour $60. Anyway, we're offering a couple specials actually. The first one, and both of these, if you go to the MP4 catalog, both of them are there. And the first special is the entire package, 48 hours of videos for only $350. And it's listed there's 14 2-hour videos, 1 4-hour video, 1 6-hour video, and 1 10-hour video, all for $350. And the second special offer is if you're, we put out there the 90 hours of self-study codependence intensive is $600, and that $600 would apply towards a future online codependence intensive. And so what we've done is we've taken that 90 hours plus the package that I just mentioned of the 48 hours. And so all of that, 138 hours of video for $800. And on that one, $500 would be credited towards the cost of the next live online codependence intensive. So you can see those specials out there. And like I said, I am getting ready to change the cart. So right now the regular cart kind of looks messed up. But I'm working on that. If you ever see anything on the website that you think needs to be fixed or could be better or whatever, drop me a line at Jeanie, JEANIE, at whyagain.org. And let me know what it is or the URL or whatever, and I will see about getting it fixed up. Appreciate it. It doesn't always convert over smoothly, so there are some things that we've been working on. So I would appreciate your assistance. Let me know if you run across anything. And besides that, and thank you again, Magda, for the question about the EFT tapping, and thank Dr. Tim for the explanation of that it's to loosen the energy and get you back to a space where you can actually function and do the work. And I've been in that space sometimes where I've been so wrapped up in what's going on in my mind that I can't do a worksheet proper or whatever. And, well, I say proper. There's no right or wrong way of doing that. But the EFT tapping is just to loosen up that energy and get you to release the tension so that you're doing the worksheet. So thank you, Dr. Tim, for that explanation. And welcome, Michael. And I think you're talking and I don't hear you.
Oh, well, that's because I was mute challenged, sweetie. My apology. And you had a little story that you were going to share today. Do you want to go ahead and share that?
Oh, the thing from Walmart?
Yeah.
It is.
It's just so on track with the work.
It really is. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get to it here. So, I just got back from Walmart, and I have to share this. I found myself behind a grandfather and his badly behaved grandson. He had his hands full with this child, screaming for sweets and biscuits and all sorts of things. The granddad was saying in a controlled, calm voice, "Easy, William. We won't be long. Easy, boy." Another outburst, and I heard the granddad calmly say, "It's okay, William. Just a couple more minutes and we'll be out of here. Hang in there, boy." At the checkout, the little horror was throwing items out of the shopping cart, and the granddad says again in a controlled voice, William, relax, buddy. Don't get upset. We'll be home in 5 minutes. Stay cool, William." Well, I was really impressed, so I went outside to where the grandfather was loading his groceries and the boy into the car. And I said to the granddad, "It's none of my business, but you were amazing in there. I don't know how you did it. The whole time you kept your composure, and no matter how loud and disruptive he got, you just calmly kept saying things that things would be okay. William is very lucky to have you as a granddad." "Thanks," said the granddad, "but I'm William. That little demon's name is Kevin."
That's hilarious. Keeping your cool. We are honored and delighted that you're here to be part of this process of engaging in these ancient Aramaic tools that are so life-enhancing, so life-changing that it's almost beyond belief. So we're glad you're here to be part of the conversation. And, of course, we encourage people to, as they're doing their work, as life is unfolding, to keep a notebook with questions for the radio show and to call in and share those questions, or to share, an experience you've had, to an opening, a success. Because, of course, when other people run into similar circumstances, and oftentimes the ego mind will say, "Well, I'm the only one with this problem." It's like, well, forget it. We're all in the same boat. There's nobody any different than anybody else. But the responses that we have, we can be, like William, we can have a quiet conversation inside of our minds and get back to that connected space of love. So that's the whole basis of this work. If you hold a newborn child and you tap into the essence of the newborn, you'll know what you're designed to live as. You'll know what human life is, and it is that sweet, awesome, active presence of love. And everything that we do here is about enhancing your ability to live in and as that space of love. When you tap into the essence of the newborn, you'll notice that the newborn isn't loving you, but that the newborn is love. It's the stuff we're made of. And our world does its best to pound in different messages so that we are controllable. And so we're here to offer the tools and the support for undoing the brainwash of the world and getting back to the truth of who we are. We are working with the book, Why Is This Happening to Me Again, this year. We're reading a few paragraphs each day, or most days. I miss once in a while, but reading a few paragraphs on the book. And the book is available. It's out of print, actually, but there are printed copies available on eBay and on Amazon. There are usually a few dozen of them available. So, you can go ahead and order the book from either of those outlets, or you can go to our website, whyagain.org, and you can download the book free in any one of, I'm not even sure how many different languages at this point, 7 or 8 or 9 languages. So it's there and available. Follow along with us. And if you're following along, we're down toward the bottom of page 96. And we're talking about the topic of healing abuse and victimhood, and how the culture tends to promote hostility and fear in the world as though it's normal. And, pardon me. And so we're offering that when the world plays that game, the world is stuck in an enabling mode. And if your world has enabled you or taught you or promoted the idea that, well, that's just normal, that's human life, and or it gives you the, oh, well, I'm only human isn't an excuse for some form of insanity or lack of awareness or performance. The fact is, we're human. If we are living a human life, we are living out of a genius space, of active present love. There are those who would like to have us believe that something else is normal, and therefore they get to control the game. So I've been talking with Richard about society being the enabler, and Richard asked the question, how does society enable hostile people? Richard, think of the functions and jobs that exist in our culture that support hostility as a normal and acceptable behavior. Often, bully is not just tolerated, but welcomed. Many bureaucracies are fueled by hostility. In excess of 50% of the national budget is used to fund our war-making capabilities. How many of these activities do you suppose are patterned after abuse many people learned in childhood? When people get stuck in a power person dynamic, they'll create lives that justify their playing out their power person dynamics. And just too often it's all based in hostility and fear. And so society carries those things on as though they're appropriate. And if you question it, you're insane. Well, we're suggesting you question it all. So again, how many of these activities are patterned after abuse many people learn? Richard replies, probably the majority. How did those patterns begin for most people? Richard asks. Many children are raised in homes where being beat up verbally, physically, and emotionally is normal. They presume maltreatment is a part of life. They usually hate the abuse and their abusers, but people tend to become what they hate. They then contribute to the society, which in turn accommodates them by creating ways that they can earn a living by being abusive, thus maintaining those patterns set in childhood. By this action, society fulfills the role of the enabler, and the cycle is passed on for the next generation. The mistreated, who are now in control, tend to become abusers themselves. Abuse does not become sane because it is institutionalized, accepted, or looks normal. So if there's abuse somewhere in your world, if you're playing it out, we're going to ask you to question it. Question the sanity of those who taught you that that was normal, and return to the truth of human life. And that means that literally one does the work of removing hostility and fear from the mind so that the mind is literally fueled by love. That's the bottom line of everything that we're doing. In the ancient teachings, a mind fueled by love, and it was made to sound like something religious, and there's nothing religious about it. You remember Paul talked about that the goal was to be of like mind with Christ. What mind was that? That was the mind of love. That was a mind literally fueled by active present love. And that's what each of us is designed to do, to have. And that, again, Paul talked about the mind of Christ in you. That mind of love, the power supply that fuels the mind with love, resides within each and every one of us. But if we've been brainwashed into thinking that hostility and fear is the only way to go, then we'll tend to cooperate with and set up systems that make hostility and fear acceptable. And oftentimes, we'll sit in the evenings, we'll be watching television with Genie's dad, and there'll be ads come on for guns. And, it boggles my mind every time I see these weapons of mass destruction is, how did humanity tolerate this stuff? Why when these things started to happen, didn't society rise up and say, no, you are not going to make weapons which are designed to kill thousands of people in a minute? That's just not acceptable. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But people are collecting fortunes by inventing ways to kill people. In what universe does that make sense? And of course, the hostile minds of the culture just go right along and, yeah, well, we have a right to that, you know. Well, so you have a right to be prepared to murder a fellow human being. Did it ever occur to you that that's insane? And, you know, when we start to shift our perspective energetically, we then create an option to the insanity. And the option is one where really, truly functioning out of a mind fueled by love is what one chooses to do, whatever's going on in the environment. But sometimes that's impossible. And it's impossible because we've been brainwashed with the hostility and fear. And that's where the forgiveness process comes in. And remembering that the word forgive doesn't mean I'll let you off the hook for what's happening inside of me. The word forgive means if I have something less than love moving in me, I apply forgiveness in order to remove my hostility or fear, to get back to a mind connected to love, to get back to a space where love is the acceptable answer. If you haven't used the tools of forgiveness, we invite you to go to our website, whyagain.org. The upper left-hand corner of the page, you'll see a button that says Start Here, and there's the place to start in learning how this forgiveness technology works. You can do the worksheet right there on the website. You can download the worksheets, print them on your printer. Or you can go to the App Store on your phone, type in the words Heartland, Heartland, all one word, Heartland, Aramaic, Aramaic, forgiveness. Type that into your App Store, and you'll be looking at the world's only forgiveness app. And you can carry out the step-by-step. Here's pattern. Here's the formula for how you forgive. Here's the protocol. And then, of course, if you decide to engage in those tools, you're going to have to do some changing of your mind. You know, we talked yesterday about the battleship that's moving at 30 knots north, and it wants to turn around and move at 30 knots going south. It's going to take some time to make that shift around, to overcome the inertia of the direction that it's going. And if your life has been going in a direction of hostility and fear and rage and guilt and grief and drama and trauma and pain, there's that inertia to be overcome. And that's what the tools are about, until our minds are literally moving in the direction that we really choose for them to go. And that is to function out of conscious, active, present love. So that's the essence of what we're about with this radio show, and we're honored that your ears have been loaned to us to listen. We invite you to pass it on. When we finish the show, you can download it, an MP4 free. Just go again to whyagain.org. If you look down the page, you'll see there's a microphone there. Click the microphone, and that will just drill right down into today's date. Download the MP4. You can listen to it as often as you need to. You can pass it along. So delighted that you're here to be part of the conversation. And Ms. Jean, do we have anybody in the phone queue with a hand up or anything happening in the chat room?
We do have a hand up. It's 480. I believe it's Cecilia. You're on the air.
Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Michael.
Hey, welcome, young lady. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm still processing the reason that I never stayed in 12-step groups, and that I think that my ex-sponsor, who I was over her house the other day, I told you on the radio show yesterday that she's like,
right,
why don't you come back? And I'm like, And I'm thinking about it since then. I've been reading the literature. I've been, actually this morning I listened, you can go on YouTube and find meetings where speakers are doing the whole YouTube video, okay? It's not
right.
I don't know if it's in a meeting. Anyway, and I really enjoyed the guy. He was a priest, Catholic, and he was funny. But he also had a huge anger in him, serious anger. And I'm like, and he's expressing it. And when I was in 12-step groups, that was the norm, is having that kind of anger and expressing it. And it didn't help me, but I know I had it in me, because even though I didn't stick around, I had huge amounts of anger that I just felt entitled to express. And and so I'm working. The meeting is Friday night at 7:00 here in Phoenix, and I've been there. I've been around the people. My issue really probably is that I know about the Gospel of Thomas. I know from you about the Aramaicism as I'm learning about that. And especially the reading of Thomas you read yesterday on the show, which was about, remove the shame in you and you can live in the kingdom of heaven here and now. And I don't know why those words and those teachings help me, but I just have this block in me that's like, I just sit there and I'll not want to be here at this 12-step meeting on Friday. But
here's my input.
Okay.
Here's my input. Go.
Okay.
And step back and observe your mind in operation. And when your mind wants to play out its little power person dynamic of criticizing them, there's your next piece of forgiveness work to do.
It's not that I'm criticizing them for them. I'm just like, I never, well, I did the work, I did the steps, and my ex-sponsor the other day said, well, you got to do them all the time. You got to do them over and over and over again. So I respect everybody's recovery, no matter what it is. I'm just trying to find the one that's right for me. Go ahead.
Perhaps it's time to just let the idea go and not do it, or maybe it's time to start your own 12-step group and bring the principles of actual forgiveness into it, so that you don't have to play in the realm of, well, I do this over and I do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and I feel better because I told my story. Maybe you might introduce the forgiveness process. I mean, the real forgiveness process, and support people in cleaning up their minds. And if you do that, you'll have a whole other level of learning, and you'll probably also have some great songwriting material.
You know what? I actually call every year. I call the Creative Living Center, and I leave a message. I'm calling to find out if you guys are going to ever have the support group for why is this happening to me again. They had meetings. Not when you're there, but I guess people are doing what you just said. And I never get a call back from them. But that would be the perfect place. I can call and say, I will chair it or whatever,
Facilitate,
maybe
sure.
I don't know.
Go for it.
I don't know with COVID, though, if that's why they're not calling me back, or don't know.
No.
And I wanted to say, too, that I was for a long time in a self-led peer group by a psychiatrist who's deceased, and he's deceased. He was not there. He wrote it for his patients so that they can become their own healer or whatever
Great.
of any nervous things. But in that group, they did say, when you go to too many people, you got to stick with one. Don't go to too many because you will get confused and you will never get well.
Yeah, and of course, if confusion comes up, confusion is just another state of mind that needs forgiveness. So you forgive your confusion.
Yeah.
You know that it really doesn't matter what you run into. You know, there are a billion different complexities and insanities in the world. If you just keep paying attention to your own and doing what you need to do to bring your mind back to love in this environment, you'll be empowered in an additional way to keep your mind connected to love. And, you know, and if you find yourself straying, there's your opportunity to either take somebody else's inventory or take your own and go, here I am again. I'm in irritation because of what these people are doing. Well, here's my offering. You've never been in irritation because of what anybody else has done ever in your life. And neither has anybody else. I've never been in irritation because of what anybody's ever done, though my mind has told me that's why I'm irritated. If I'm in irritation because there's irritation in me. When I stop taking everybody else's inventory and I recognize I'm irritated, then I apply forgiveness to my irritation and I remove it and I move forward. So every life circumstance at that point becomes an opportunity to learn forgiveness and move your own process forward. So go for it.
So if I'm going to call him again, you know, and this time be more clear that I will facilitate a forgiveness meeting or whatever, weekly or whatever. But I need like formats. I mean, I've led 12-step groups before, and they give me formats. That's why I lead them. So
so if you go to if you go to whyagain.org, Jean's got a whole section there on doing a support group. Yep.
Thank you. Is this
I don't know, Jean, maybe you can talk a little bit more about it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to it at the same time. And with COVID spiking, you might want to consider doing it by Zoom, and you can actually get an audience that's not just limited to that church or that group. But, so if you go to, let me get there so I can tell you the right place to go. So if you go to either Start Here in the upper left corner or the bullseye, either one.
Okay.
And there's also under that, if you scroll down, there's a section that says Want to Stop the Addiction. Where do I start? And there's a whole list of, we did a lot of radio shows and how they aligned with the AA programs. And so there's a lot of that information out there. That's a different topic, but it is there for you. And under, actually, let me find it. It's actually, if you on the website and you go over to, excuse me, support, let's see, work support program. No, that's not it. I'll find it. Go ahead and talk, Michael, and I'll find exactly where it's located on the new site.
Anyway, when Jeannie and I met, I introduced her to the work. I actually came to Johnson City, Tennessee here, and did a week-long series. And the next week, Jeannie started a support group. And for, well over a year, until we got married and went on the road, she ran that support group and touched a lot of lives. So she took her experience there, and then several other people over the years who started support groups have contributed to that page, and it talks about what some of the pitfalls are and how to organize it and make sure it stays on track. And so there's a whole set of guidance there to assist you in taking the work to more people. And, of course, you know, there's that thought that comes from Richard Bach where he says, we teach best that which we most need to learn. And well, that's just part of the process. So go for it.
Okay, I might be emailing you as I process the creation of this here.
Well,
Zoom
we'll do everything we can to support you.
I'll be calling you actually probably on the radio after I look at all this. I'll call you on another show to get more direction. Okay.
Sure.
So it's under healing if you go to the website, and it says blog, shop, schedule. The next one says healing, and then scrolling down through there it says support, and there's it talks about 12-step support, the practitioners, testimonials, the helpline, and then there's the one that says Mind Shifter support groups, and there's several things there. It's start a support group, find a support group, and the ones that are by Zoom, and then Mind Shifter group guides. So there's information under that. So there's just lots and lots of information. Under the guides, it says general guidelines and suggestions for starting a group, venue, format, facilitating. It's in a PDF format, so you can print it off. There's suggestions. A lot of places where when you're doing a support group and you're doing worksheets, what we have found has been very common, what we call stuck points, where people say they're doing the worksheet and they get stuck. And so we've got some suggestions for helping them to move through that. And then there's suggestions to the facilitators. So there is just lots of information out there about starting a support group.
So is this what Dr. Tim does, like on 2 nights a week, Tuesday and Thursday? And what? I don't know how to pronounce her name. Ureta. J-U-R-A-T-E.
And I don't think Urade's doing her support group right at this present.
Right. But I mean, I can go on one of those to see how they operate. Is that what it would be like?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're welcome to join any of those support groups, and most of them are doing the Zoom. I'm not sure if any of them are doing in person anymore for right now.
Okay.
But, yeah, and usually what most of them do is they'll show and this is what I did. I would take one of the DVDs and show an hour, and then we would talk about it and do worksheets and things like that for the next hour. And then the next week we'd show the second hour of that one and do the same thing. And so, there's enough DVDs out there that it could take you for at least 48 weeks. And most support groups don't hold meetings if it's a holiday or something like that. And I always suggest that you don't say every other Monday or every other Tuesday or whatever, because then people don't remember, well, was last week the other one or is this week? So set a thing like the first and third of whatever, the first and third Monday of the month, or the second Tuesday and, whatever of the month. So have a set
or do it every week
so that people,
So how do you do an hour of watching a video on Zoom?
Well, I've not done that, but you can share, if you've got a video and you have it on your computer screen and you're doing a Zoom meeting, you can share your screen with the other people in the group.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
so that everybody's watching it.
You just set it up, on your computer, put the DVD into your computer, set it up so it's ready to go, and then share screen,
Michael,
push the button, and you're watching it.
I just got a computer that doesn't have a CD drive. I don't know. I didn't think I'd ever need it. So I don't have a CD drive in my computer. I just bought a new computer.
Well, the other thing you can do is we do have them streaming, that you can buy them online and stream them. So you don't need a DVD player. You just do it through your through a browser.
Okay. Good to know.
Technology, lots of ways to do it.
Yeah, and you know what? I always tell myself I'm not good at math and I'm not good at computer tech stuff, and so I have to do worksheets to let go of that.
There you go.
Yep.
Next piece of work.
Yep.
All right. Well, if there's any way we can support you with it, go for it.
I will. I will be in touch. Thanks. And
cool.
And we always tell people, if they're new at doing a group, and there'll always be a time when somebody will ask a question, and you can just say, I don't know, but I'll call the radio show tomorrow and I'll find out, and then I'll be able to give you the answer. So you can do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, we have one lady who, when she first started doing this work and started with the support group actually talked about, I don't think they actually did it, but talked about ordering her a T-shirt that said, "Call the radio show." Because when and it's perfectly fine not to know an answer. Just call the radio show. You know, that's what we're here for, is to back it up.
She wore a T-shirt when she did the meeting that said, "If you have a question, call the radio show." Is that what you're saying?
But people kind of jokingly threatened to get her one made.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All right. Well, it'll be a whole learning experience, and any way we can support you, we're here to do that.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts
I
for
wanted to say, huh?
Any other thoughts?
Yes. I did try to go on Dr. Tim's show one Tuesday night or something, and I was looking and trying to figure out how to get on his meeting and how to sign up for it or whatever it was back then. And I just decided to email him or message, however that worked. And he said, just go on. The directions are on the website. And I thought, I just said I couldn't figure them out. So how am I going to figure them out this time to myself, you know? And I just, my brain got all jumbled and I didn't go on it. And I was really kind of thinking that would be my support group instead of, 12 steps, at that time, which wasn't that long ago. So I don't know I guess I'll look at it again today and I'll see what is the specific issue that I have that I don't seem to be able to connect to that Mind Shifters with Dr. Tim, and I might call him tomorrow with that.
If you go to mindshiftersacademy.org and click on the support group, he has both the weekly meeting where you can download and import it to a calendar system. He's got all the Zoom information, so all you have to do if you open up Zoom is you put in that Zoom meeting number and the password, and it lets you into it.
Well, for some reason in my memory I tried that, but it's not 100% sure what my memory is telling me. But I did try to get on, and I couldn't get in. I didn't understand why. I did know at that time that Urette, her meeting, Urate, that I couldn't get on her meeting. But I mean, I had emailed you and told you that I couldn't, and you had talked to her, and she said that she wasn't doing it anymore. But I still knew Dr. Tim was doing it, even though I tried to go on the Zoom link. And
go to mindshiftersacademy.org, mindshiftersacademy.org, and I think it's pretty simple.
Okay. I went off of it on your website, though. I mean, on why, again, I got to the information. Is that how I still go on mindshifters.org?
No. To get on Dr. Tim's, you have to go to his website, it's mindshiftersacademy.org. It's the website he set up. And I'll email you the direct links to where he has his information.
Okay. Or I can do it, Jeannie. I know you're really busy. I'll do it. I'll go to mindshiftersacademy.org.
Cool.
If I have any questions, I can call you. I mean, on the phone.
Sounds good.
Here. Okay. Thanks again.
Right. Okay.
Bye.
Blessings. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
So we've got about 25 minutes left. If you're on one of those stations where we can't see you in our control panel, the calling number for the show is 563-999-3581. If you dial that number, you'll be listening to the show. And then if you push 1 on your keypad, that'll put a hand up, and Jeannie will introduce you by your area code. We'll be having a conversation. So what's on your mind? How can we support you? Jeannie, do we have anything happening in the chat room or anything happening in the phone queue?
No, it is all quiet on the home front.
Well, we're here to support you if you're up. Oh, great.
Hold on. Well, all right, press 1 again, whoever you were there. Okay, there you go. 727, you are on the air. Is this Patrick?
Yes, it is. How are you?
Hey.
Well, hey there, Dr. Patrick McGann. How are you?
I'm good. I'm getting better all the time. I got two new things that relate, happenings in the last 24 hours that relate to the work. So
tell us about it.
One of the things, well, what my therapist told me for PTSD, we were just beating around the bush for the last 6 months because I was a good avoider. That's what she says. Excellent at doing that. So, but she also said that there's no way that I was ready for this work before. And what we did out in June a couple of years ago out at your place was foundational for that to be able to happen now. So the work parallels, just different languaging, but it's really the same thing. It's just forgiveness. You might say that from each and every PTSD trauma that I had, I then not only had a belief system, a viewpoint, or and a lot of held energy and negativity around it, but I made a decision. So researching down into anyway, I'll share more with you later, but basically what happened so far was on session number 1, I think, with the exception of maybe being at your place, I know I wailed a lot when I released. Yeah, and I think I cried, but only during those times. But basically for most anything, I never cried for 21 years after the first time I stopped, except for a Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon movie on the positivity, but anything negative, I just tighten up, felt my breath, don't cry. And my eyes had been, dry eye for years now. And I had 3 different solutions that I put in them. And one solution had to be a thick gel so at nighttime it didn't dry up and wake me up in pain. And lately, through our work, it started, my wife and I both, and I think it might be the absinthe had something to do with it. Both of us said, "Oh, what happened to our dry eye? It's going away." Still, there weren't tears. It was just a release of dry eye. After the first session on the PTSD doing forgiveness with this lady helping me, on the way home, experienced my eyes open up and tears coming out. They were just really nice tears. And I had what is this? My eyes are working again. I'm actually able to cry. What? And it wasn't like an emotional cry, but just, hey, my eyes are tearing and running down my face.
Restoring the energy flow.
Yeah, it was amazing. So then, if I chose to get an inoculation or the jab or whatever it's called, I was told by intuition or Holy Spirit, whatever, that it was to be after I worked my session with Paul St. John, which was today. And Paul does extreme, strong structural balancing going through the muscles. It's always been in a linear fashion, going with the length of the muscles previously, and it's always been close in to the structure for left-right imbalances. Something happened, and he made a major breakthrough, and he has a whole new therapy, and he did it to me, and it includes breath work. So it includes high oxygenation, and when he's applying the pressure, it includes that he's checking the direction of what is the resistance in 4 different directions, and then mapping that. So then instead of doing specifics, he's doing the entire body, like what we call circle the dragon, and then what's in the middle, the pain point, just tends to disappear or release very easily. So when I finished with it, tremendous amounts of energy flowing and flowing and flowing. But again, tears for the second time. My eyes are working, tears are flowing. So I just wanted
Patrick,
to give that positive. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do a little bit of research. It's just occurring to me that the innervation to the eyes that allow tears to happen is probably part of the parasympathetic dominant state. And when one's in, and I don't know for sure, when one's in a sympathetic dominant state, probably that cuts the innervation to the eyes, to the tear ducts, and it's probably a protect mechanism, part of the fear protect mechanism. And so,
I'm not sure about other people. I give you my opinion on other people in the trenches, World War I and II, and then what happened to me. Mine started previous to military with my mother, because she got, the old belt thing. So she got beat a lot as a kid and passed it down to me. But the beating was severe, around and around, we called it, and it didn't stop until you screamed a lot. One day, she had done it twice in a row where I hadn't done anything wrong, and something inside me was just tired, sick of it. So I just looked at her with this terrible look and quit crying. So I never cried again for 21 years till I held my I did for that brother, son, and sister moon. But the decision was made further in the military that if you have emotion, you die or somebody else dies. You can't. You don't have time for it. So it's a big survival thing. So the decision that I worked with the other day was just exactly that. That for me to when there's an emergency, not just life or death, but anything, doesn't matter if the cat cries. At that point, my belief system, decision, way of being is you don't allow yourself any feeling of emotion. You just move fast. And then that takes care of survival, takes care of the child, takes care of even, because of my craziness, I used to get very upset that if a cup of juice fell, I would catch it on the way, other people let it go. Even if it hit the floor, I'd grab it and still have half of it up. And I go, why don't you move? Why don't you move? You got to move. It doesn't matter. Move on it. And that was me before. And now it's like I got a breakthrough. The new cat we have was training me because I practiced the Tai Chi about for about 2.5 years since we were out in your place to try to not be extremely reactive to anything that came at me emotionally or physically. And I finally realized that even a raised tone of voice could put my heartbeat up and my and I don't have high blood pressure, but my blood pressure would go out of sight if someone raised their voice to me for about 4 hours to calm back down. And then when the cat would reach out to grab me, I would extremely fast jerk back. And I've been trying to get rid of that for years. So finally, my wife said 2.5 weeks ago, don't jerk back, hold the cat's paw. But it took that breakthrough, finally happened 2-3 days ago, that the cat had its paw with its claws into me, and I didn't jerk. I breathed, I centered, and I calmly, gently said something to the cat. And I didn't get ripped from jumping back. So it's like a major breakthrough for me, too, on that level of non-reactivity to what appeared to be danger before. It's no longer danger, and it's no longer life or death.
Right. Well, and if you look at that sympathetic parasympathetic balance, there's a third state to that, and that's what I hear you describing happened with your mom with that particular pair of beatings that you got, was going into freeze. I'm not going to respond. It's just a freeze state, and that's another aspect of that sympathetic parasympathetic dominance. There's a third response in there.
Yeah, crazy decision and a belief system. And the funny thing was, what I finally got, even though I got it from your work, I got it again where whatever decision I made, whatever I believe to be true, I have to keep reliving that crap over and over and over and over again. So researching at a deeper level, which your work does, is what we did, and came up with a different opinion. Going back to that thing about what I do versus other people, World War II, I don't know about Vietnam or Korea. Never had anybody pee in their pants, but people did that all the time in the trenches. And that's pretty heavy duty, but basically I always looked at it like the adrenals got turned on, fear got turned on, they had no place to go, and so the trenches smelled terrible. But
definitely time for healing on planet Earth, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely. I'm so glad I'm healing so rapidly.
Yay. Nice.
Yay. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, delighted, Patrick, to have you on our team, and delighted to be on yours. And anything else on your mind for today?
No, I didn't. I just got on the show right when I came on. I didn't hear anything prior to know what subjects you were talking about prior. So, do you have any thing you're going over?
Well, we've been talking about starting support groups. That was the previous conversation just before you came on, and and living as a human being, living in love.
I like it. I like both of them.
Yeah, cool. Well, any other thoughts for you?
Well, I'll just listen then. No, I'll just go back to listening and learning and growing.
All right.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Blessings.
All right. Blessings.
All righty. Well, Ms. Sheeny, we're down to about 11 minutes or so.
There are no other hands up. It's all quiet.
Well, let's put out the invitation. If you're out there in listener land, push one. Let's have a conversation.
We got a hand
How
up.
can we support you? Great. Let's go for it.
And this is 517, and I think this is Angie. We haven't heard from you in forever.
Hi, this is Miss Angie. How are you?
Well, hey there, young lady. Welcome. Good to hear your voice. How are you?
I am super good. I'll put out the disclaimer. I've been caring for and spending the days with 3 little boys. The oldest is 11, so he's sitting right in front of me watching. He's a young man now. And I was just really inspired to put my hand up and say hello and share. It was great to hear Patrick's voice in this conversation about the trauma responses, like shutting down the eyes or the tear ducts. I'm really thankful for this communication because I experienced the same thing when I first moved back home to my parents' house from my previous marriage. It took me, I don't remember exactly how long, but once tears started flowing and those energy channels started to open up again, it came with such relief. So, really good. I'm curious about that, like where it's at in the electrical system, the response, and the control of the eyes. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, as I was saying to Patrick, I'm not 100% sure, but I suspect that the innervation to the tear ducts is part of the parasympathetic response. And there's actually a fairly simple exercise you can do if you find yourself in that sympathetic state, which is basically, fight, fright, flight, fear, or freeze. Mm-hmm. And the simple thing that you can do is you can just take the fingertips on, so start out with your left hand and put your fingertips up over top of your head so that you're just over your left ear, and take gentle hold of your head. Pull it down toward your right shoulder as you breathe.
So, with my left hand or my right hand?
You've got your right hand to your left side. We're going to do both sides, but so your right hand over your head to your left side, just over the ear. Pull your head down toward your shoulder as far as it will comfortably go, and breathe. And at the same time as you're breathing, say again?
I'm aware of the resistance in my neck, like that communication between the two, between my hand and my...
Right. Okay. Well, just take it as far as gently comfortable, and at the same time as you breathe very deeply. So you're, imagine that you've got a balloon and you're blowing up your chest, your abdomen, right down into your pelvis, and at the same time, you raise your eyes up to the left as though you're trying to look up over from the corner of your eye up over your head. So your eyes are stretched all the way to the left, and then just deep breath. And if you notice anywhere there's tightness, that's where to breathe and just let that open. And what that does is it opens the innervation to the whole of the internal structure. And then you can let that go. You can let that go and return to center. And now do the opposite. Good breath. So use your left hand over your right ear. Gently pull down toward your shoulder and breathe. And this time you're now going to use your eyes way up as far as they'll go to the right, as though you're trying to look up over the top of your head. And breathe, blowing up the whole breathing mechanism, just really expanding it. Stretch your neck down. And that's just a simple way that you can do anytime, anywhere. If you find yourself getting into a fear state, or that sympathetic state's coming on, that'll help to shift into the parasympathetic. And the benefits are just enormous. I mean, it goes from that fight, fright, freeze state into flow, aliveness, enhances digestion, enhances elimination, just changes everything. Just that simple move.
Powerful. Yeah, I feel it, definitely. Yeah. And I will be with that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What it does is it stretches what's called the vagus nerve, and the word vagus means wandering. And it's a nerve that just wanders, comes out of the brain and goes through down into the whole internal chest and stomach cavity, right down to the bowels, and provides innervation to all of the viscera, all of the organs inside the body that are, if we're in the jungle in terror, or there's a lion chasing us, man, you don't need digestion, you don't need elimination, you don't need any of that stuff. You need blood flowing to muscles to be able to run. And so that's what that state's for. But if we're in that state while we're sitting in the office because the boss just raised his voice, now all of a sudden we're in a dis-ease state. And that simple exercise can be a way to recover and get back to the state of ease. And that's where thrive happens as opposed to survive.
For sure. That is awesome.
And what a great tool to teach 3 little boys.
Oh, they are awesome and really receptive. What a blessing. And you share about how a few years ago we couldn't shout at the thermostat to change the temperature of the room. now we can offer the instruction.
Yep.
And so you guys know my journey intimately, and everything that's unfolded between my children and myself. And oh wow, what a turn of energy and a return of love returned for sure. The opportunity to be with these 3.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really beautiful. I think for all 4 of us, their biological mom is not able to be in their physical world. So
right,
it's a gift all the way around. And
awesome that you've got all those tools to hand to those little guys. Life-changing.
Yeah,
life-changing.
The story at the beginning about the man in Walmart, there have been several moments when I asked my son, she needs support. Will you breathe with me? Can we all breathe together? And we do. And it changes the energy of the moment and allows for more space and more options and choices and ideas of loving ways to move forward.
Yeah, Teach them that little head movement and make that part of your daily exercise routine. Okay, we're going to get into thrive mode now. We're going to get into vitality mode. And, I mean, what a gift to give them.
Yeah, really great. Thank you so much. Awesome to hear everybody and all the shares. I'm loving the conversations on will, and the refinement for me has been really potent. The discernment of the 5 qualities, the 5 smooth stones. So,
right.
Just thanks for everything. Real quick before I get off, I just am remembering I woke up this morning as I was just coming around, and I heard Michael. Oh, I'll be right with you. Just one moment. I heard your voice, Michael, offering the invitation to soften, relax, and open the energy to all the organs and the whole unit. So thank you. Nice to connect in the physical, and I'm glad that everybody cooperated for me to pop on and say hi. So.
Sweet. Well, delighted that you've allowed me a little space in your head to be there as support, and glad to be on the team, and appreciate having you on ours.
Thank you both so much, and the whole team. Bye-bye.
All right, lots of love and blessings. Take care. Give those little guys a hug for us. Tell them we send our love. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for being with us, and we hold the space for you to have the best year yet of your eternal life. It's an awesome gift to give the world. The world needs it. You can do it. Hey, let's go for it. Blessings. Bye-bye.